number one in everything, and it's just not true. And I thought this movie might be a good antidote to that, where people will have a chance to see how the rest of the world is living, and in many places doing and living quite nicer than we are.
For countries like the UK where we have universal healthcare, we think it's very weird that Americans don't want something like that. What did you kind of take from European countries, especially places like that?
Well, to me, it's like the difference between European football and our football. You know, like soccer, what we call soccer, is structured around the concept of we, and our football is around the concept of me. You know, I got the ball, to hell with the rest of you, I'm taking off. You know, even in rugby, there's a sense of, yes, you have the ball, but if you're going down, you go, here, Joe, take the ball, you go, don't worry about me. You know, and our thing is like, in our American exceptionalism, when we score a point, we get 6 points. We've only scored one goal, but we get 6 points. You know, so it's the kind of me thinking versus the we thinking, and I'd like us to operate more on the concept of we here in this country. So.
We're coming up a year to the day to the election, and obviously, like, the Republican field isn't thinning out anytime soon. What do you hope this film does to kind of draw attention to issues that
it is thinning?
Drowned out?
The Republican field is thinning out, not in the way that you're thinking, but it's kind of like the political gene pool has been so depleted. You know, like when you make a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, and then you end up with Trump and Carson and Rubio and these guys. So, I mean, I think that they're the dying dinosaurs, and they're so out of touch with the American public.
What?
You know, the American public, 81.5% of the American public are either female, people of color, or young people, young voters between the ages of 18 and 35. Only 18.5% are white men over 35. And yet so much of this discussion is about them. Forget about them. You know, the real America is the America where, when this school year started 2 months ago, was the first time ever the majority of kindergartners were not white. That's the new America, and that's the America we should be talking to. Yeah.
What criteria did you use to choose what countries you invaded for your film?
Had to be funny. So, like, that's why the UK was out. Like, there's nothing funny about David Cameron, you know, it's just kind of boring there. And they're trying, he and Blair tried so much to be like the United States. There was nothing more to learn from the UK. So, but Slovenia is funny. And so we went to Slovenia, and we went to other places. We went to places where we thought, like, if the Pentagon, next time they thought of invading someplace, if they would just go to a travel agent and just say, hey, we want to go someplace warm, nice, you know, we promise not to kill anybody. You know, our troops will get to go to Tuscany or the south of France or something like that. So that's kind of where our thinking was at.
Well, I think we think of your movies as being somewhat serious, but you're taking more of a comedy sort of bent on this. What made you do that, Michael?
But I think because I think my movies have always been comedies, either intended or unintended. I think George Bush is one of the funniest comedians I've ever had in any of my movies. So, no, I think people want to laugh. It's hard. Look, life is hard. The world is hard. And I think humor has always been a good way to sort of explore the social condition, to take a look at what's happening in the world, and it's a great vehicle to reach people.
And what was surprising that you found as you were making this movie that you didn't expect to learn?
Everything. I had no idea in Portugal they haven't arrested anybody for using drugs in 15 years. They don't use their prisons to lock up drug users. You know, I mean, it's things like that. I didn't know that in Austria you can vote at the age of 16. You know, and that a number of countries are now lowering the voting age to 16. That sounded like a good idea. So there's just a lot of things like that.
And how much time did you spend doing the filming and traveling?
The entire film took the better part of this year. Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
It was exciting. I had a lot of fun doing it. I made it with all my friends that have worked on Roger and Me and Fahrenheit 9/11 and Bowling for Columbine, so we had a great time.
And it's screening here at the AFI Film Festival, but where else will viewers be able to see it?
Movie theaters. It opens on December 23rd in New York and Los Angeles, and around the country on Martin Luther King weekend on January